Hello everyone, my name is ShaineRiley and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reading fall romances, which I'm very excited for. I'm going to read something from an author that I'm already familiar with and I feel comfortable with. A few years ago, my friend at work would drink energy drinks and I didn't, so then that was a brand she was drinking, I think. Or it was like a brand that just came out and it was like popular, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try it. This one's by, it says Kim K, so I'm guessing they did a collab. Yeah, Kim made. The bottle's so cute, so it obviously, I bought it because it was pink. Put it in my pink mug. So fun stuff. It does taste good. Is that raspberry? So I have my little book stack here. I read this about a year ago. I was getting out of a reading slump, so it took me like multiple weeks to finish this. This book was amazing. It's perfect fall vibes. It just makes you feel good when you're reading it. Like when I think about it after, even though I read it for over such a long period of time, it felt like it went so fast. If I would have read it in one sitting, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more, but that doesn't take away from the story or anything, my rating. It was absolutely amazing. I know that the 7-year slip was a part of my September TBR video, but I don't think a novel love story was, or maybe, hold on, let me check. A novel love story also was a part of my TPR video. I have such a bad memory and it's late at night and I'm going crazy. Which one am I gonna start though? I don't know. When people were reading her books, they read this one first and were like, it was amazing, I want to read this one. Or people read this one and were like, I want to read this one. So I already read this one, so I think I'm just gonna go with this one, and then because A Novel Love Story is her newest release, I'll read this one last. My rating was a 5. It's basically a girl who falls in love with a ghost, essentially. She can see, talk to dead people, beings. She grew up in like a funeral home. Her dad or her parents owned one, and so that's when she kind of started to realize like she could see dead people like when they were passing. Like she was kind of like their last resort, and they would talk to her about whatever, and then they would pass. Sometimes she was okay with this and sometimes she wasn't, because her whole life she'd, realized that she was talking to someone and they weren't even alive, and that's crazy to think about. But her dad does pass, and that's why she's going back to her hometown, is to attend his funeral and support like the rest of her family and stuff. While she's there, has this relationship with this ghost, and the story between them is so beautiful, it's so sweet, and they're getting to know each other. And it's the sweetest thing ever. It's so genuine because no one else knows that these two people are doing this, because she talks to dead people, but like her family can't see the dead person. And then he can't interact with anyone else, so he only has her. But like, it's just very sweet, and I really wish I could have read this for the first time again and just read it in one sitting. I do want to buy another copy, because when I was reading this at the time, I would bring it to work, and when I first started doing my makeup at work, I would only use, this is irrelevant to book stuff, I would only use, I wouldn't use powder, I would only use clean products because my skin is so dry, and I was terrified of using powder because when I tried to use powder, like, when I was younger, it made my face so dry and it was like peeling, which was horrid. Now I actually know how to do my makeup, so I use powder. Anyways, I would carry my blush and my makeup blush, whatever. I can't talk. Blush brush. And I would take it to work because your blush on your face is always the first thing to go. Like right now, also the lighting in my room, it doesn't really look like my blush, but like when I do my mirror, like there's a good amount of blush on my face. I love blush. But I would take the blush brush in my purse, and then I would have the blush with me, and it started to like, I would use tote bags at first. I didn't have like an actual purse or like different compartment to put it in. So it was like getting on the book. It kind of faded, or on the top it's a little more messed up. That's why I just was like, no, my book is messed up. Like these aren't in pristine condition. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine, that's like nitpicking. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this one started. Keep you guys updated. I don't think I'm gonna do an update tonight because I'm gonna be too tired, but I will do it tomorrow morning. Okay. I know I look crazy. Hair clips are in again. Last night I didn't read a thing. That's my update. So I didn't stay up late. I only got to page 22 today, and it's now gonna be 6:30 in the evening. So far I just know that there's this apartment and it's magical, and in the first page like her grandma's talking to her about it, but I think people are gonna take that as like it's not actually magical. She just means it in the way of like she's lived there so long that to her it's magical. So we're gonna find out what happens. I want to get more into this book. It's definitely fall. I'll be back when I have a better update, hopefully. So you might not see me tonight. You might see me tomorrow after work. I don't know. I have an update. How do I feel? I feel happy. This was a romance. after I just got out of reading a bunch of sad books. Monday, I came home after work and I knocked out. I would have listened to the audiobook, but I still had like 13 hours of being in Spotify jail. I did read like when I woke up though, so I got like 100 and something pages in. And then it was only like a 320 something page book, so it was super short. This is not a 5-star, which was one of my prompts for the month, was I suspected this would be a 5-star. It was cute, very fall. Her name's Clementine. Her aunt literally reminds me of like when I was a kid, like the magical school bus. I think her name was Miss Fizzle, the teacher. Like she legit reminds me of that. Like just very whimsical, fun, adventurous, like always wants to go to the next thing. And that's who the aunt reminded me of, so it was really like sweet to me and it brought back a lot of like nostalgia. I would highly recommend it. Was it a 5-star? No, but it was close. The Dead Romantics for me personally was just a little bit better in my opinion. So this concludes the first book that I've read for this video. Even though I talked about The Dead Romantics, I had already previously read that. The second one, which I'm still very excited about because I think the story of this is very interesting. It's a girl who gets stuck in her favorite romance book. I don't really know what this entails, like the details of how she gets stuck in her favorite romance, if she comes out of it, if she lives in it, if she replaces a character, or if she's just kind of like a standoff character, like watching all these people. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna start this tonight and I'll finish it tomorrow. I just got done reading a novel love story, and I'm gonna say the same thing that I said about the 7-Year Slip. Both of these to me were a 4.5 because there's parts of the book that are absolutely amazing, super sweet. It's like the magicalness of it is very entertaining. But then there's parts of the story where I don't want to say it gets boring, but it's just like it's not what you expected, and so you're kind of like, okay, that's new. Like then you read a little bit to like you're trying to figure out what's happening, and then it like becomes interesting again. So a 4.5 is still really, really good. I just think that with these two, there was like, obviously the first one, the 7-Year Slip, is about a magical apartment that you either get sent 7 years back or 7 years in the future, but once you leave the apartment, that person that you've seen, it can only happen in the apartment. Now you can find them in real life, but it's gonna be different whether if it's 7 years in the past, they don't even know who you are, or if it's 7 years in the future, then they do know who you are. But with a novel love story, it's this girl who gets stuck in her favorite romance novel, and it's super sweet. There's obviously a happy ending, and it felt very, it wasn't as cozy as like The Dead Romantics. It's so weird holding all three of these up right now. Wow. The Dead Romantics, I think, was like a pure fall. Like it felt slow, but like a steady type of slow. Like it was consistently just, the story was constantly moving, but it felt like peaceful in a way. Maybe it was just because it was surrounding like her dad's loss and the fact that she can talk to dead people. She always kind of moved through life a little bit slower. Just, that's how the book felt to me, which I liked because it wasn't boring at all. But these two, there was moments where it was slightly like, and it kind of was just like, okay, didn't expect that, but that's fine. It was still very interesting. Happy endings. I will say, she's definitely, now that I've read all of her books, well, I believe these are all of her books, these are the ones that I know of, I can 100% confidently say that she is my favorite romance author. They're so fast-paced. I read this and it went by so fast, even though I was reading it for such a long amount of time because I was in a reading slump and I was trying to get out of it. Genuinely, it wasn't the book's fault. Like when I look back, every single moment that I picked up the book, it was so fast. And I feel like her writing is very easy and simple to understand. There's like very minimal plot twists, so it's nothing like crazy extraordinary happens, but the stories are just very sweet, magical, and I really like that. It's always enjoyable to read, always have a good time. I started this one, when did I start this? Like on Sunday, but then on Monday I fell asleep. Tuesday I finished it, and then this one I started today, it's Wednesday, and I finished it. So super, super easy to read. This one was a little bit longer, like maybe like 30 more pages than this one, but they went by so fast, and I'm so glad that I actually got to them and now I know what these stories are about because so many people were talking about them. I will say that every single time she comes out with a book, I will 100% just buy it like off the bat. There's absolutely no way. There's no way that I wouldn't. They look so cute together too. I don't want to keep rambling because I have more books to keep reading, but I'm excited. This was fun, especially after reading sad books for like an entire week. That was crazy, but I'm glad that I read them. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you later on in the week during my next reading vlog. Bye bye. What am I talking about? I don't even know.